Good afternoon and welcome to Mediumship Matters with me, Hannah Macintyre. And today I am joined by the amazing Trish McKinnley. Whoop, whoop. We're too excited. Oh, Trish, I was so excited to have you.
I am too, yay! You can feel all the energy.
Yeah, I know. This is going to be a good one. Tell everybody who doesn't know you, who you are, what you do.
Hello, I'm Trish McKinnley. It's 2 N's because I'm twice the fun. And I am a spiritual lifestyle expert because honestly, that was the easiest way to say, look, when you come here, you're going to learn how to do all the woo-woo stuff. And it's easy. You're going to be able to learn how to really use the stuff that's been around forever. So that's how I came up with the Forgotten Tools of the Universe. I know you were asking me about that earlier, but It's like, look, these tools have been around and around. So I just present it in a way that's like, oh, okay. So I like I don't want to say I'm dumbing it down because I never mean to insult someone, but I needed it always. If you're going to explain how to do math to me, I need you to dumb it way down. And I do not take it as an insult. But, oftentimes when you're talking to someone, they'll say, well, explain it to me like I'm a first grader. And I thought, oh, my God, I've heard that for how long? Why wouldn't we apply it in the spiritual world? And it really was pissing me off that people acted like you had to go through these specific qualifications to do things that you naturally do. You are naturally intuitive. You're naturally a goddess. You're naturally a stunning star, spectacular. So I just want you to reconnect with that and say, hell yeah, that is who I am. So every time you look in the mirror, you recognize what a shining light you are, because then when you're shining brighter, oh my God, it's contagious. People are going to be like, what is it about that Hannah? Man, she is stunning. She has just got it going on. And that's opening the door. So it's my mission to share the light, spread that love. So, and I do it through a spiritual lifestyle. And the thing about applying a spiritual lifestyle, you're doing it in one way or another. You're either talking negative affirmations, you're disregarding crystals, but you know what? You're noticing a cloud at some point. You're noticing that animal. You'll have a funny dream. You had a feeling about something. So you are living it. I just help you kind of identifying it and then use it to your advantage.
Amazing. And I have to say, one of the reasons, I don't know how I found you on Instagram, but I followed you for quite a long time. And, every time you do a live on there, it is like shiny light. I can just see you, doing your thing. And I was going, oh, I wonder what she's saying now. And I'll mute you because I can see you, literally practicing what you preach. So you mentioned Forgotten Tools of the Universe and Goddessology. And also you run these programs to help people unlock and access the stuff within them. Is that right?
True. So why wouldn't you want to? So even, I know I get really excited. So please, I apologize because we're going to go like zing, zing, zing. But I do believe that's why fairies like working with me. But life is fun. And so when you are under a pile of bills, and don't get me wrong, I had been a single mom for 15 years of 6 kids. And when that bill would come in the beginning, even though I was raised with all this stuff, we're human, and I would kind of have a freak out moment. And that is not beneficial for anybody. And when you start realizing, I work with this energy, you never see a bird worrying about where they're going to get that worm. You really don't, because I look at the birds. I feed the birds too. That's probably why they're not worried. They're like, I'm going to Trisha's house. She's got plenty. But I love working with all these natural gifts that are here, and we don't have to freak out. There are people that are so calm, cool, and collected, and we can be that way too, especially when you're working with angels and you have like this security detail that's here. Like, oh, wait, she's got a dream. Here, let's help her out. And you know how to ask for it. So I do share with that. And whether you're jumping on Instagram, whether I'm doing a live, I do Wind Down Wednesday on Wednesday nights. And it was funny because when I started, I got so much flack for having wine, because it's literally wine down. And I'll talk about a new bottle of wine. And then we go into into discussing it. And the reason why I did it is because I wanted it to be like all of us getting together. And you remember a slumber party? I don't know if it was like, not that I was invited to slumber parties. This is probably why I want to do it. I want to have a slumber party with all of you. So we would talk. I had a girlfriend, though, that would come over when her daughter was in getting tutored. And she would bring a bottle and a new CD one week, and then it would be my turn the next week. And we would talk about just life, just talk about fun stuff. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun to everyone wear jammies, which I'm usually the only one in jammies, by the way. Show up in jammies, bring your drink, whatever it is, and let's talk about something spiritual. Let's talk, like this week, we're still going to be talking about pet communication and working with new moon and Taurus. And so, and it varies every week because life is ever changing and there's ever a cosmic difference. And that's why I thought it would be really fun. I got so much shit for having wine. What about the alcoholics? Why aren't you? And it's not spiritual to be talking about wine. Whatever. Yeah. In fact, when I drink, the problem is I got to cut myself off, because if I go past that certain level, and I know where that level is, that's when I don't have a stopper. Like as a medium, I don't really enjoy doing mediumship work. I love doing all the other stuff, but it's like the dead people around, especially with my husband, his family comes through all the time. And it's like, I was on a hot date with my hot husband and instead his mother's coming through.
Yeah. Passion killer.
Yes.
Okay. So God, there's so much I want to ask you. So talk to me about fairies. How did you get involved with fairies?
I've always been around them. Like I was so connected with fairies as a little girl. I always had a pixie haircut. I don't know if you ever had heard of those, but I looked like a little fairy anyway. And we talked about them. My grandpa was from Ireland. We talked about fairies. That was a very real thing. And even my stepmom believed in fairies, and she would talk about it. So it was interesting getting it on different levels. Well, last year with COVID, I had the best 2020. 2020 was like the most magical year of my life, one of the most magical years of my life. And my daughter, we have a farm. My daughter came home because she's a traveling physical therapist. She and her husband came home, and I was at the farm a lot more because she was there. And there is so much fairy activity. And they were like, we want you to write a course. We want you to do this. And I thought, I don't know that I can do all this. So within 2 weeks, they wrote the course. I filmed it. They helped with the editing. My son did all the audio editing. And we put together this magical piece within 2 weeks. And it was launched. And people that have done the course have had a fairy encounter within 5 days. Every single person. Every single person. Oh, and I think it's because fairies are here, and that's part of the forgotten tools of the universe too. They want to help us. They help us with our intuition. They help us with work. And oftentimes when I'm doing readings, you'll see fairies flying behind me. And on one, even my daughter was like, really? Isn't that just a bug? No, because if that's a bug, we are leaving, because that's like Tyrannosaurus Rex flying around in the back. It's like 12 feet behind me. So yeah. So fairies are here for us. They're our friends. There's a lot of negative, scary stuff that was shared about fairies, and it's not true. That is not true. And the thing that pisses me off, and then I'll get off this fairy thing, but I love them. But why would you be rude to a fairy? Why would you not say thank you? And so I'm also here to share what you're thinking about fairies, the negative stuff. You're wrong. Because I have seen them save our house. My husband, who really was looking at me like, fairies really, totally talks to them now, totally gets it.
Oh, amazing.
Fairies, oh my God, they help us with everything. They're the like guardian. They are the guardians of the earth, of nature. Then you work with angels, guardians of the heavens, of the heavenly realm. So when I'm helping you manifest, if you want to manifest money, that's great. Angels are going to be like, I'm going to have this big old view and I'm going to help you. And they're going to open those doors. And then fairies are like boots on the ground. Let's do this. I've got this inspiration for you. Suddenly you're going to have a desire to make soy wax candles or something like that. And then you're going to think about, how am I going to use this? But you're going to go in your backyard and look at a plant and say, oh my God, I thought that was a weed. When in reality, it's purple dead nettle, and or I might have said that, it might be dead purple nettle, whatever it's called. But anyway, it makes, you know what I mean? But you've got all of these things that you consider weeds or throwaways that are magical right here for you. So it is my mission to open the magical world for you. So
amazing. So it's really about unlocking what you've already got here to then create more of it. Yeah.
Got it.
Excellent. Excellent. So talk to me about your Goddessology course, because I've looked on your website and I know you've got that as well. And that looks amazing.
Oh, thank you. So that's every month, because life is ever changing. We have a cosmic cycle that changes, because like right now we're in Taurus, but we're going to go into Gemini. And man, is that a different energy? So I want to make sure that as a goddess, first of all, there are 4 goddess personalities based on Hippocrates. He is the OG, the original. He is the granddaddy of all the personality temperaments. And what he noticed is some people were following along and he'd give advice, and other people didn't give 2 shits about it. They didn't take the medicine, they didn't do it, or they just forgot about it. So he noticed, and he thought it was because of our fluids. He said, she's got too much yellow bile, she's got too much of a red blood, and he worked it out. He knew there was something. And then one of his students, Galen, then took it another layer, and he added, well, there's some behaviors that accompany these humors, these 4 personalities. So if you are into Myers-Briggs or the Enneagram, that is like an amped up version with a lot more detail. But I want to keep it simple. So that's why you have the goddess of action, goddess of order, goddess of optimism, and goddess of peace. And you can go to my website, trishmckinnley.com/goddess, and take the quiz. And I would love it if people would let me know what their goddess personality is, because yes, when you take the quiz, you're going to get an email sequence that talks a little bit more about your personality. But when you know, oh my God, this person is this, then it's easier to talk to them. Even if it's your husband, if it's your child and they're going through something, you as a mom, you want to be there, you want to help, but you want to understand why they're feeling this way. And that's what it enables you. So you understand your goddess personality, how you work with all of the magic, with the moon cycle, with the with crystals, with Gemini energy or Taurus energy, for example. And so there's a masterclass, an affirmation, a meditation, and it is exclusive only to the members in Goddessology. Plus we have a live Q&A, so that as things are coming on, you can be saying, hey, this is what I'm doing. This feels like an off. Can you help me? What do I need to interject? Or I feel like I'm really close. One girl manifested the love of her life, and she said, I just can't believe it. I can't believe it. It was like I was doing, and I felt like I was hitting a wall, and then I had this breakthrough. And she really credited it with the affirmations. She would cut it out. She would glue it to her mug. She would glue it to by her coffee pot. And it's these little tips that even the women within the membership will help each other out in our Facebook group. So we have this community where we're all in this together, because if you do better, we all do better. And it's exciting for that sisterly love, that goddess love that we used to share with each other. We used to talk. We used to say, hey, these are the secrets of womanhood.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. So it's like an exclusive group that people can join on a membership, and then they can be in, and that's always nicer, isn't it? I think the exclusive groups, because you get it's a higher level, isn't there, in there? It's like a family.
It is.
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah. You got me on speed dial. So when you're in the group, I literally get text messages from these women like, will you just say a prayer for me? Or if you're going through something, you've got a whole group of women that rally around and pray for your pet or pray for you. Yeah. It's wonderful. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. So lovely community feel as well. Fantastic. So have you always worked with the spirit world, or what made you take the leap into this phase?
I have, thank you. I have always worked with the spirit world. Oh, I used to be a voiceover talent, and because you're representing these companies, and because I did work even in front of the camera, my agent was saying, and she knew what I did. And she said, we just got to kind of keep it separate, because you can't have a Fortune 500 company then say, oh, that's representing me. Yeah. I don't like that. So what happened was I manifested love of my life. And he said, you know what, you do you really enjoy doing the voiceover? And I said, well, I'm making a lot of money for other people, but I really enjoy doing readings. And I had done readings all my life. When I was a single mom, my kids would have parties and I would stay up all night doing readings. So when I say I have done thousands of readings, you can imagine literally these kids would come in. It was like a revolving door, and they are so thirsty for wisdom and knowledge, and it's reconnecting with what they already know. So I did thousands of readings every weekend on Friday night and Saturday night. I would stay up because I thought I don't want something to happen. The cops come and then they say, oh, that deadbeat mom was asleep in bed. So I would stay up doing this. So, and I taught angel workshops. I taught kid workshops. I taught these on the down low. So I was really trying to always be under the radar. And then when my husband said a couple of years ago, he said, stop hiding. It's time to come out of the psychic closet. It's time to share all the spiritual stuff, and you're just the person to do it. So when you have someone that's really believing in your dreams, that really helps. And then soul and spirit. So I made the fairy dust course all because of the fairies. Fairies then guided me to, all of a sudden, there's this Rising Star Award for Soul and Spirit magazine. And they said, do it. And it was due like the next day. And I thought, I can. They're like, do it. When fairies are yelling in your ear, you're going to do it. So I did it. And then you look at all the people that they could have chosen, and they chose me as the Rising Star for Soul and Spirit for 2020. And so and it was the first year they had ever done it. They're amazing. It gave me a regular column in their amazing magazine. Soul and Spirit magazine is the UK's number one spiritual magazine. And when you magazine, there's so much information. It's packed with information. It is such a valuable resource. So I'm so honored. I'm just so honored. So anyway, I've always had it. I've always, now I'm sure there are times where, just like all of us, we're going through stuff. We don't want to share that part of our life. We shut it down to be protected, or we shut it down for growth or whatever. And I hated knowing stuff. Sometimes I just knew that something was going to happen. Or if I shared, like when I had gone on a couple dates with this guy, and I said, please be careful. I really feel like there's going to be an accident. Please, and then he said, it was my fault that I made it happen. So I think all of us have a story where we want to shut down. Mm-hmm. Has that ever happened to you? Or
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, I think the thing with all of this is sometimes it's hard. It's not that, sometimes it's an amazing path that changes everything, and you're so grateful for it, and you're skipping around. And sometimes the lessons suck.
Yes.
And so, I think when you start the spiritual journey, I'm always saying, you think you're going to be on some pink fluffy cloud floating to the next level, and actually you're normally crawling, going, ow, but you do it and you get there. So absolutely. So talk to me. I know you've had so many amazing experiences, but tell me one of your most profound experiences. Tell me when you just went, oh my gosh, this is incredible.
They happen all the time. Thank you for asking that, because it's funny. I have this statement that I'll say to my husband, oh my God, and weird things happen to me, but this was really weird. So when we bought the farm, that was a very fairy-led thing, to the point where I jumped out. We were on this property for 15 minutes. There were 6 other offers on this property, which we didn't know about, by the way. But it just the way we were guided and led. And when you're in that flow, how if you'll say yes and you'll just do it, you'll take the action step, you can step into so many blessings if you'll just say yes. And if you'll not block yourself, if you won't suddenly say, well, I'm not worthy, because that's always like a familiar tape, especially for women. And I mean, no offense to anyone else, but when you are a woman, you are naturally more in that nurturing side. You just are more aligned with that flow. And so, and if you're an empath, oh my God. Well, anyway, you block it frequently because you feel like, what if I'm taking away from someone else? Or you want to help everyone. And so you're not allowing the natural flow. When in reality, when you recognize this is your journey, this is the most amazing thing that's happening for you, you stop caring what other people say about you. You stop caring about when it's your intuition and you're being guided. You no longer fear what someone else says or thinks or will do. And And I still have those moments where, I know what I saw on the farm. I know I saw this beautiful bull. I mean, he looked like he could have been the poster child for the Taurus bull. And I got back in the car and we literally, because it's a farm and it's a lot of acreage. And we drove back and the farmer said, I don't have a bull. And I remember feeling like when I saw the bull, I had said to him, if you bless us with this property, you will always have a home here and everyone will be safe here. Angels, fairies, and I don't know why all the things came out at that time. It just bubbled over, which I know it's because I talk a lot, but it really was almost like it wasn't my words, but it was a vow to the property. And that was a magical moment because he said, yeah, that's not it. But then we started having the conversations of all the magic that does occur. Like we get rainbows all the time. No rain, but we get rainbows over the property. The other day I had a packet of crackers because I had too much candy and my tummy was really upset. And I thought I really need to have some candy. So I just opened up this package of candy and in it is a quarter. And I thought, that's really weird. That's one of those magical moments. That was one of those where I just got goosebumps again. I was like, okay, I don't know who did this, but thank you. Seeing angels, seeing fairies. When I'm giving readings, fairies frequently show up. And as I'm giving the reading, like I'm in the zone and I'm delivering it. And I'm like, woo, here's this message, blah, 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 blah. And then I hear the person interrupt me saying, oh my God, I just saw your fairy. So to me, that's like, then I got to stop and it's like, where was she? What's going on? And so those are some of the most wonderful, bizarre, but wonderful things.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Amazing. Okay, so, oh my God, where to go? So much information.
My hair is flying all over too, so I apologize. I know.
I'm sure this is going to be difficult for you to answer, but what's your favorite part of your work?
I have to say, getting to meet someone like you. I mean, that really is fun. Getting to hear the stories and celebrate all of the success. I know the women in the Goddessology membership, I love when they share something that goes wonderful for them. And even when it goes bad, it's nice that they're sharing because we can lift it up and turn it around. But just celebrating everybody's success and celebrating you, like getting to meet you and our light blends. And I know we then send out this signal to the universe that everyone is going to feel a little higher, a little vibe, a little better. And when magic comes together like this, when someone opens up and allows us to come in, their life shifts. And I know this for a fact. It's just like if you have, you're nurturing your soul with that special drink or with that special meal or that special song, it's the same. And I think that's the thing that I like. I really do believe I'm God's vessel, and I really am honored that he uses me in any way he chooses. So for me, it's pretty, I love my life. I love the sparkle and I love every aspect. So I know that sounds like a cop out to say, I just want to end. Thank God. Why'd you go on and on? But this is a really fun life. This is, and shit happens. Don't get me wrong. Oh, yeah. When I was on the radio, there was a caller that complained and the station owner came down and said, can you just tone down your happiness? Can you just, no, I can't. He said, well, I got a complaint on you because no one is ever that happy. And I said, Bill, I'm always that happy. Shit happens in my life. I'm still happy though. That's a choice. Yeah. And I think that's what we need to have more of these conversations of, I know there's a moment where when my mom died, it was a week before my baby was born. And let me tell you, there was some serious depression going on. And I surrounded myself with crystals. I surrounded myself with Reiki. And I am a Reiki master, but even when you're doing Reiki on yourself, you need someone else that's hugging you, that's offering it. You need having angels around. And I love citrine for connecting with angels. I love the feeling. And I love, the golden color helps with your solar plexus, with you feeling more confident and just bringing in that sunshine. Sunstone was another stone, and rose quartz. And you just do these things. And interesting, you do them naturally too, because I wasn't consciously thinking, oh my God, I got to grab my sunstone to be happy. Yeah. I was really thinking of nothing but I hurt and I need help. And that's where angels will lovingly just guide you. It's magical. And I had a card deck too. And I made that commitment to pulling a card every day and just letting the message flow through. And the other really cool thing was I had a phone. We all had cell phones, but it was a weird, it was an old school, obviously, because it was 22 years ago. And my mom would call. That number would call and it would say, "Mom calling." And to me, that was like, oh God, that was the best gift, because I've got this baby, I've got these 5 other kids, I'm now single, and it's like, what the hell am I going to do? And then I have this phone ringing, and all of a sudden, it's like, I'm still here. I'm here for you. And so that's what I want. It happens. And I will tell you, other people would say, oh, that can't be, and try to steal my sunshine, try to steal the gift and the blessing. And it's like, you're wrong. I would show them on my missed calls, or on my call list. So, yeah.
Oh, incredible. Your mum was determined then, wasn't she?
Yes,
So,
Yeah.
So here's a question for you. You were talking about cards. I know you work with lots of different cards because I know you do Mermaid Mondays and things like that. So I do pay attention. Have you got a favourite pack?
I'll tell you. So my very first deck I got from Half Price Books. And I was standing there and, and I had gotten like decks, tarot decks, but I never could memorize anything and they weren't connecting. And so, and even this is called Osho Zen tarot deck. There you go. And I don't know, I just liked it. And what I liked about it was it was pretty pictures and they spoke to me. Like they spoke immediately. And I would give readings using the deck saying, don't read the word because it really isn't the meaning. That's not this card. And like with this deck, I would see things flying off. It literally was like spirit working with the card, and even people sitting there receiving readings would get it. So then I thought I had used this deck I was giving readings at a local shop, and I thought I really would like to get a different deck. And I would buy different decks and I would misplace them. I'd misplace them on the drive home, like really seriously. So then a gentleman had overheard me saying about, I really wanted this new deck. And he had just been visiting the shop. He didn't come in for a reading. But anyway, he lived in Colorado and he had this feeling as he was walking by a shop that he should buy this deck. And he thought, oh my gosh, this is the new deck for Trish. This is exactly what she needs. And he didn't know what I had already been using. He didn't know anything. He just had that feeling and he was going to be that knight in shining armor. And he sent me the deck. And you know what the deck was? It was this deck again. So I thought, okay, you're right.
Message received.
It is. So I really like that deck. I think it's a very easy deck. I used to do like after proms where I would read for the kids and nothing scary on it. Oftentimes when you're reading a tarot deck, either way you want to say it, but it's people feel like, oh, I know what that means. I know that's the Fool card. I know. And I don't like that because then they're not receiving the reading. They're not receiving the messages and they're in their head. And I also feel like when you are using an Oracle deck, it's you can use a tarot deck as well, but just be sure to get out of your own way, get out of your way of the message and let your intuition always trump everything, because everybody is intuitive. The more you use that intuitive muscle, the more it's going to work. And I'll tell you, when you start opening up, especially if you work with fairies, you're going to open up more. And the most recent thing has been my sense of smell. It's irritating the hell out of me because I was looking all around for someone lit a match. And I kept turning to my husband yesterday. He's like, well, Sam's at work, Nikki's in bed, and it's just you and me right here. And the dogs are not lighting the matches. Well, you just don't know. And I couldn't go to bed till I made walk around the house. However, what's so cool is Olivia had been a twin, and magical moment, I found out I was pregnant because I was losing her twin, and yet she survived. Yet Olivia stayed for the entire pregnancy. So we know her sister has come through in various times. and Olivia graduates from college next weekend. So I feel it was her sister saying, I'm here, I'm cheering her on. I want you to know. And I've been a part of this whole time. So.
Oh, amazing.
Yay.
Amazing.
Yay.
So do you have a daily practice for you? Something you do for yourself every day?
Okay, I should. And I wrote out something that's a freebie. If you want to download, it's like my spiritual daily thing, which I do. I just don't do it intentionally. Well, like in the morning, I'm getting ready. It's going to be such a great day. Oh, I just love it. And even when I'm putting on my makeup, and I had used eyelash extensions. So, it's really hard on your eyelashes. And so I'm like babying my eyelashes and I'm manifesting them to grow. So even when I'm watching my affirmations, and I'll tell you, they're just like, and I'm like, oh, girl, you are growing so long. You're amazing. I love it. And we are going to be celebrating today. Everything's falling into place. And I have this goofy, just la, 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 la. And I talk to angels, like, you're going to help me out today, right? It's all in your hands. You got this. I'm showing up. I'll go through. I'll do the actions, but I want to make sure you're there. And they will be like, write it down. Just write it down. Just write it down. And I'll hear that. I'll don't do it. And they'll be like, just text it in your phone, right? And so I have accidentally texted my husband my stuff. He's like, what do you want me to do with this? Oh, that was my to-do list.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so
do you have something? Do you do a regular routine? Okay.
I would love to tell you that I do, and I try, but they never stick. I think I'm just too, like changing like the winds. I know what I need when I need it, when I don't need it. And for me, I think because I've worked with spirit like you, not my whole life, but a long time, I think there becomes an ease with it eventually where they're just with you anyway. So you don't need to go and light a candle, burn the incense, set a moment to be with them. Right. You can chat to them when you're driving your car or cooking dinner.
Yes.
So
I think it's the more you can feel like get past the rituals or the specific ways. Now, I did do my new moon ritual. I did do that. And I do follow, I get my moon water. So for example, hang on a second. I'm just sorry about that. But like I know I shouldn't say what it is. But honestly, I bought this bottle because I thought it was so pretty. And I did think I've got to drink this so that I then have a beautiful bottle for my moon water. And this is full moon water. And this is something that, like, even on the new moon, because it's the new moon, and I wrote up my stuff, I'm going to bless a couple things with it and put it on my third eye. And it's all about intention, like everything we do. And I feel like it's just like, yes, I looked okay, but the makeup certainly helped.
Yeah.
And that's what these tools do. So if you don't do the moon water, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. It's just an enhancement. It really is good. And I will smudge regularly, especially I detox. I intend to detox every time I get in the shower. Every time I wash my hands, I truly do believe all of the negative stuff is flowing off. That's something that we can do every single time, even if you just have a negative encounter or conversation, or you see someone who looks pretty grumpy, that can happen. And you just wash your hands like this and throw it to the ground. So it's easier to release versus hold on or try to overthink it. Goddesses of order will always try to overthink things, and they remember everything. So the sooner we can get them to release it, the sooner they can get more things. Because, if you're focusing on that negative stuff, so I feel like you're a goddess of optimism, which means you are able to let things roll off your shoulders easier. And, you would get really upset at the moment, but then you're like, oh, I forgot about it. Which is great. Because then you manifest, because your thoughts are a higher vibe. Honestly, a goddess of optimism has a high vibration, easy to connect with fairies and work with fairies. And you are having so much joy and gratitude that you focus on the joy and gratitude and you manifest what you want a lot easier. The Goddess of Peace has that where she works very well with angels because she likes to just kind of be in that Zen state and doesn't really like to get ruffled and needs to take her time. So it's easier for her to ask angels for the blessing, ask angels to intervene and hold the space. The Goddess of Order wants step by step. So when she's going through something, she wants the to-do list. She wants the ritual laid out for her so that she can check those little boxes and feel like, hey, I've done this right, because she's a perfectionist and she wants to do it right. The Goddess of Action has immense instinct. Like she's the one, that Goddess Diana type, that you see, that type A personality. She has that, but she's so fast going that she's missing out on the blessings of working with this other energy, with stopping, taking that moment to understand when I'm doing that run, I'm meditating. Even though I'm not sitting there going home, I am meditating in nature, and I'm missing the fairies. I'm missing the gnomes. I'm missing the tree and the tree communication. The more science comes in to support all of this, we're really not hearing about it, but it's there, and science is talking about it. But the more that Goddess of Action would just kind of get out of her own way, the more she's going to hear. And it's true for all of us, really. The more we get out of our own way, the more we align with it. But you are and you can borrow some. You might be a blend of two, but you can also feel like, hey, I am far from the Goddess of Optimism, but I'm going to borrow it so I can manifest that, extra chunk of change. Or
amazing. Yeah, I love it. So that's all, and anyone who's interested in Goddessology can go onto your website, trishmckinnley.com.
Yes, 2 N's, twice a fun. So trishmckinnley.com, and just do /goddess. And if you can't find it, it's also on my Instagram in the bio. You can click there and you'll see, and that link takes you right over to the quiz too.
Amazing. Because
I try to make it easy.
It's lots of fun, isn't it? And I'm sure that lots of people are going to pop onto your site and have a look. And your Instagram is at Trish McKinnley, 2 N's, twice the fun.
Right. You got it, girl. You got it. Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to finish with one question for you, which is, what's next for you? What are you manifesting for yourself?
Woo! I have a lot of things. You can't do just one thing. So I have another course that is in the editing. I have a lot of projects that are in various stages of close to the finish line. I know I've got some fairy creations that are coming up that are going to be revealed and celebrated and partay, and some more information on where, like a deck and some books and just the fun kind of stuff that sometimes you don't want to necessarily connect with everybody live, like on here, but you want to, I love connecting. I'm just saying, sometimes you have a personal question. And so you can DM me and ask about that. And I would rather you message me and even follow up, because if I don't see it, I don't see it. I'm not answering because I'm a wicked, evil, selfish bitch. It's literally, I just didn't see it. Message me again. Yes.
Oh, amazing. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Thank you.
Really, really loved getting to know you a bit better.
I'm so honored. And I want to say, Anne, thank you for agreeing to be on my masterclass and teaching one of my master classes, because you're amazing, you're light, you're incredible, and I can't wait to share you. So thank you for letting me come on. Thank you for sharing me with all your wonderful people and their amazing souls and vibration. Thank you. And thank you. I love this time with you too. I'm so honored. Thank you.
It's been brilliant. So make sure you check Trish out. You can follow her on Instagram and you can check out her website. And let us know what goddess you are, because we're really interested to know. Brilliant.
Thank you.